Hi, I'm Tracy with Tracy's Easy Eats, and today I'm going to show you how to cut up a pineapple. I have a cutting board, I have a compost container for the scraps, and I have the container that I'm going to put the pineapple in. And the knife I'm using is just a small serrated knife. You could use a flat blade knife as long as it's sharp. The first thing I'm going to do is cut off the top part of the pineapple. I like to use pineapples that are on the greener side. I look on the bottoms of them to see if it's pretty yellow, and I try to get them not as yellow, because that means that less of the pineapple is going to be overripe and I'm more likely to be able to use all of the pineapple. So there's that part, and I still have some of the green parts sitting around here, so let me go ahead and cut that off. Because of the way that a pineapple is shaped, when you cut it, you're going to be following along the contours of the pineapple. And my goal is always to use as much of the pineapple as I can with as little stuff that I don't want on the pineapple. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Now I'm going to cut off the bottom. This one's a little bit harder to cut because it is so green, but that's fine because that's what I wanted. Yeah, this is one of the harder ones I've actually had to cut, which is, it's fine because it kind of shows you that it takes a little bit of elbow grease. Okay, so I got that off, and I'm happy to see that it doesn't look overripe too much on the bottom, which is great. Now, starting at the top, I'm going to follow down the contour of the pineapple with a sawing motion. So I'm kind of coming like at this angle to get this part of it off. And as far as how deep to cut, I like to cut not too deep because I'm going to come back around and kind of get all the little parts off that I don't want. But if you see, when you cut in deeper, you're leaving all this pineapple in there, but if you don't cut deep enough, you've got these little things. So I'm kind of a thrifty person. I don't like to waste food. I feel like food is such a gift. Like the amount of time that it took to grow this pineapple, the energy that people put into growing it, the resources, I feel so bad wasting that I spend a little extra time in my food preparation to try not to waste things. But if you do want to speed it up, you could cut deeper into the pineapple and get more of these little residual flower parts off of it. Each of these parts, by the way, is coming from one flower, each little section. And these are just the remainders of the flowers. Pineapple, incidentally, is good for treating certain things. As I found out accidentally, I had what I believe is a Candida Overgrowth, and I was eating a pretty poor diet at the time that this was happening because I was on a cruise. And I usually am pretty healthy, but I kind of threw caution to the wind and just ate whatever I wanted. And I was eating a lot of pineapple on that cruise because they have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner available at like the buffets and things. So, strangely, even though my diet was very poor, the Candida symptoms I had, which were like a white tongue and like acid reflux, started to go away. And that's not supposed to happen when you have a really bad, sugary, high-calorie diet. And yet it was happening on this cruise. And then I realized that eventually that it was something in my diet was causing this to happen. And it was the pineapple that I was eating 3 times a day, enjoying 3 times a day, was causing the symptoms to go away. Ever since then, I've been eating lots of pineapple, and I haven't had the symptoms really come back too much. If I stop eating the pineapple and my immune system's not good, I will start getting the symptoms back. All I have to do is just cut up more pineapples and eat them. It's the fresh ones that work. Frozen might work, but canned I don't think would work because it's the bromelains in the pineapple which are enzymes. And there's multiple, I did some research into it after this started working for me. There's multiple bromelains in the pineapple, multiple kinds of enzymes. There's different ones in the core part of the pineapple than are in the fleshy part. So if you can get some of that core in, if it's soft enough to keep, you'll get some different kinds of bromelains, and it's actually a higher concentration in the core than in these parts. So as I've been talking, I've been kind of cutting away at these little flower parts to try to keep the most of the pineapple that I can, but still have it be palatable to my family and me. I don't really like eating the flower parts that much either. They're kind of hard on the mouth and stuff. But I mean, I've got a lot of them. I could do a little more here as I'm talking to you. Incidentally, as far as getting the same benefit from dried pineapple, I was reading that the bromelains do denature at heating, but if you were to dry pineapple on the lowest setting on your food dehydrator, like somewhere 90 something or 105 or something like that, I did do that once, and I did find that the pineapple seemed to do the trick. But just buying dried pineapple, I think the temperatures they dry that stuff at would be too high to really get a benefit from the bromelains. Bromelains are supposed to be really good for like heart disease and cancer prevention, all kinds of stuff. So pineapple is super healthy. It's a very functional food when it comes to disease prevention. And if you're taking antibiotics, incidentally, that's one time that people tend to get Candida overgrowth, because Candida is a fungus that can grow when your bacteria that are competing with it in your body are suppressed. So if you're taking antibiotics, I recommend cutting some pineapples up, and eating them. A couple times a day, eat some pineapple. It may help suppress any potential Candida overgrowth, and then you won't have to deal with it. Okay, so I've got most of those off. Now I'm going to come down from the top. Here, let me get this green stuff. I'm going to come down from the top and cut the pineapple in slices. Incidentally, if the bottom of my pineapple, usually it's the bottom, where it's overripe, meaning it looks like you really have to eat it soon or it's going to go bad, I would cut the bottom part off and put that in a separate container, so I'd eat that first. So I'd slice it like I'm doing now and make sure that I eat the bottom part first within that day, because then I get to eat it without it becoming too overripe to eat. I like to have my containers here so I'm not like trying to reach for them with sticky hands. And then I'm just going to, here, you probably need to see this. I'm going to cut, now that I've cut it this way, I'm going to cut it this way in as big or little size pieces as I want. And put in my container. And then I'm going to keep going and try to get as much of the core as I can as I'm cutting it. Just kind of go in there with the knife and keep cutting these slices off and making these smaller pieces that me and my family can enjoy. So I just think it's important that people know potential benefits of pineapple. There's things that I haven't looked into when it comes to other disease prevention with the bromelains. Supposedly freeze-dried pineapple is one way to get the bromelains. However, when I looked into how much it would cost to eat as much pineapple as you would need to get all those bromelains, it comes out to like $10, $20 a day worth of freeze-dried pineapple. That's why cutting it up yourself. Sorry, my phone alarm went off. I have to pick my daughter up in a couple minutes, but I would estimate when I was on that cruise, I was eating about a cup of pineapple 2 to 3 times a day, maybe a little more than a cup sometimes. So if you want to try to get rid of your candida by eating pineapple, and I noticed a symptom reduction within maybe 5 days. So I would try 1 cup of these cubes or more 2 to 3 times a day, which means you're going to be going through several pineapples a week if it's just for you. And then 5 days later, see if your symptoms are better. Maybe take it out to like 7 days. And if the pineapple helps reduce candida symptoms for you, keep going. You don't have to do 3 cups of pineapple a day, but maybe like 1.5 cups a day. Keep doing what works. And besides, pineapple is delicious. I know certain people do have sensitivities to pineapple. You don't want to eat it so much for so long. You don't want to eat it so slowly that it starts to give you canker sores in your mouth. But if you eat it at a normal pace, that's less likely to happen. I've had that happen to myself. Now with this core, I like to come back around, especially because of the bromelains I was reading about in the core as being different kinds of bromelains. You notice most people say bromelain, but since I've been reading about it, I kind of have to. I feel I have to say bromelains because I know that this is an enzyme or there's multiple forms of this. I'm assuming it's an enzyme. Supposedly it breaks down something that, like biofilms or something, or whatever it is. It helped me. I'm just hoping that maybe it'll help somebody else if I talk about it while I'm doing this, and you can get some ideas. Okay, and then this core is pretty soft, the pieces that I'm cutting here, so they'll be good to eat. And I'm getting that little bit of that healthy core. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed learning how to cut a pineapple up, at least the way I do it. I hope that you feel a little more, if you weren't cutting pineapples up already, that you feel a little more confidence to buy one and try it. Remember, if you want it so that it's not overripe, look at the bottom and get one of the ones that are more green on the bottom versus more yellow or brown on the bottom. So please subscribe to my channel if you like the content, like my videos, share them with friends, feel free to leave comments. I love to have interaction with my viewers. And until next time, keep it easy.